Good morning, Mr. Blue. We've got our eyes on you. The evidence is clear that you've been scheming. You'd like to steal away. And while away the day, you'd like to spend an hour dreaming.
What will it take to whip you into line? A broken heart, a broken head. It can be arranged. It can be arranged. Step softly, Mr. Blue. We know what's best for you. We know where your precious dream will take you. You've got a slot to fill. And fill that slot you will. You'll learn to love it, or we'll break you. What will it take to whip you into line? A broken heart, a broken head. It can be arranged. It can be arranged. Be careful, Mr. Blue. This phase you're going through can lead you nowhere else but to disaster. Excuse us while we grin. You've worn our patience thin. It's time we showed you who is your master. What will it take to whip you into line? A broken heart, a broken head. It can be arranged. It can be arranged. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't worry, Mr. Blue. We know what's good for you. Just think of it as sense and not surrender. But never think again that you can ever think again, or you'll get something you'll remember.
What
He always wanted to explain things, but no one cared. So he drew. Sometimes he would draw and it wasn't anything special. He wanted to carve it in stone and write it in the sky. He would lie out in the grass and look up in the sky, and it would be only him and the sky and the things inside him that needed saying. And it would be a beautiful picture. He kept it under his pillow and would let no one see it. And he would look at it every night and think about it. And when it was dark and his eyes were closed, he would still see it. And it was all of him, and he loved it very much. When he started school, he brought it with him, not to show anyone, but just to have it with him like a friend. It was funny about school. He sat in a square brown desk, like all the other brown desks, and he thought it should be red. And his room was a square brown room like all the other rooms, and it was tight and close and stiff. He hated so much to hold the pencil and chalk with his arms stiff and his feet flat on the floor, stiff, with his teacher watching and watching and watching. The teacher came and spoke to him one day. She told him to wear a tie like all the other boys. He said he didn't like ties. And she said it didn't matter. He should wear a tie. After that, the class drew, and the boy drew all yellow, and it was the way he felt about morning, and it was beautiful. Now the teacher came and said to him, "What's this? Why don't you draw something like Ken's drawing? Isn't Ken's drawing beautiful?" And after that, his mother bought him a tie. So now he drew airplanes and rocket ships like everyone else. And he threw the old picture away. And then he lay alone looking at the sky. It was big and blue and all of everything. But he wasn't anymore. He was square inside and brown, and his hands were stiff. And he was like everyone else. And the things inside him that needed saying didn't need it anymore. It had stopped pushing. It was crushed, stiff, like everything else. And soon the boy died.
Once there was a man who spoke his thoughts out loud, who believed in what he said and walked out in the crowd. But they took him and they taught him what they wanted him to say. Once there was a man, once there was a world in which a man could live, in which a tree could grow, in which a man could give. But they took it and they churned it into mud and brick and steel. Once there was a world, thus each man kills the thing he loves, and each man fails to see the lessons on the page of was a life, a beginning and an end. But now that's dead and gone. So tell me who will send a man to live and breathe, and in the end destroy. Once there was a life, once there was a world, once there was a man.
The unknown citizen. He was found by the Bureau of Statistics to be one against whom there was no official complaint. And all the reports on his conduct agree that in the modern sense of an old-fashioned word, he was a saint. Except for the war till the day he retired, he worked in a factory and never got fired, but satisfied his employers, Fudge Motors Incorporated. Yet he wasn't a scab or odd in his views, for his union reports that he paid his dues. Our report on his union shows that it was sound, and our social psychology workers found that he was popular with his mates and liked to drink. The press are convinced he brought a paper every day, and his reactions to advertisements were normal in every way. Policies taken out in his name prove that he was fully insured. Both Producers Research and High Grade Living declare he was fully sensible to the advantages of the installment plan and had everything necessary to the modern man: a phonograph, a radio, a car, and a Frigidaire. Our researchers into public opinion are content that he held the proper opinions for the time of year. When there was peace, he was for peace. When there was war, he went. He was married and added 5 children to the population, which our eugenists say was the right number for a parent of his generation. And our teachers report that he never interfered with their education. Was he happy? Was he free? The question is absurd. Had anything been wrong, we should certainly have heard.
Whose garden was this? It must have been lovely. Did it have flowers? I've seen pictures of flowers, and I'd love to have smelled one. Whose river was this? You say it ran freely. Blue was its color. I've seen blue in some pictures, and I'd love to have been there. Tell me again, I need to know. The forests had trees, the meadows were green, the oceans were blue, and birds really flew. Can you swear that was true? Whose gray sky was this? Or was it a blue one? Nights there were breezes. I've heard records of breezes.